Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick, and today guys we're going to be jumping down into the charts for Vechain, seeing what's been going on with the price action and what I would expect to happen next. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, links in the description down below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. And if you are looking for more from the crypto space, then check out the Patreon services. We do project reviews, portfolio management strategies. We do twice weekly AMAs with the Patreon members, and we do bits of trading as well. So why not check out the Patreon services if that's your bag? Let's waste no more time though. Let's jump right into this. Right, Vechain paired up with USDT on the hourly chart. Binance is the data source, right? And we actually had this 5-wave move here, finishing quite suddenly, right? We actually got a reversal with Bitcoin. Bitcoin's pulling back down, and there's a couple of key things that are really important that we have to acknowledge here with the sentiment in the space, what's forming at the moment, and what this might mean going further forward, right? And I think for the most part, we will now go ahead and remove some of these measurements because I don't think they're coming in anymore. I'll also remove the fibs, and I'm going to remove this 3.495 area as well. Then I'm going to remove these temporarily, and I'm going to show you what I think this actually now represents. Okay, so here we have an ABC structure up and an ABC structure down, and we could argue that we have an ABC structure up here as well. However, I think what you've only got at the end here is a running flat correction. Okay, so what this is basically a correction comes up, a correction comes down lower than this origin position, and then we move up, failing to go higher here. Okay, now these are rare, but they are really complicated and hard to spot. Normally are a 335 correction. Okay, so we do actually have a 5-wave corrective move just here for Vechain. Okay, so that would actually then complete that as our move. We also have inside here our correction of 3 waves, and we also have our correction of 3 waves just here. Okay, so this makes the entire thing very, very complicated because it is a 333 and we ended in a 335. And that 335 is a running flat where we have that expansion but then fail to expand above that W wave at the top there. So really, really complicated, but it does look like this might be a reversal point, but it is also possible that we actually have this as a zigzag pattern, right? And we still have that continuation of that surge to the upside. However, in order for that to be a zigzag pattern that goes up, we have to make sure that we do not go lower than the 2.809. And on this pattern at the moment, I think we actually have a high probability of losing that. So therefore, I don't think this is actually going to be a zigzag pattern going up with a zigzag pattern in the middle. I think, in fact, that's a running flat correction, really hard to spot. But on the setup of everything else that's going on here, this is a mess of a correction that I think is coming to an end, and we're now starting our descent towards our lower areas. Okay, so let's just be very aware that I think this is potentially the start of the end here for this next move coming on down. So lots of complicated moves going on, lots of kind of noise in the space and all that kind of stuff. But let's zoom in on the most recent moves, right? This one particular move just here. Now this is setting up a 5-wave move, right? Which is why you'd look at this as potentially a setup for a much, much deeper correction overall, right? You start with 5 waves, you go up for 3, you go down for 5 more waves, right? That's a zigzag. However, it could also turn into an impulsive structure of 5-3-5, 3-5 if that 5-wave move in the middle is really, really big. Okay, so we'll have to keep our eyes out on a couple of things. We'll be looking for a 1.618 or a 1.382 move within that section. Okay, so for now we actually have our 5th wave target kind of looking down at this lower end of the spectrum here, taking us to about 2.935 to 2.7. If I actually move the 3 out of the way, I'll be able to see what that is. 2.974. Okay. So that's kind of the zone that we're looking at on the 5th wave based on the high already coming in. It's still possible that we actually push up a little bit further before we pull on down, but we can acknowledge that this is an area of significant resistance all across here now. So we are likely to break down from here. Then once we have this low in, the expectation would be that we'd have some kind of relief bounce upwards, and then we'll follow that up with an additional 5-wave move, and it's that 5-wave move that's really important to measure, because if it is of significance, then that would actually lead us into our lows going significantly lower, which is in line with my macro thought process of where I think we are likely to end up, which is all the way down here. Okay, so this could be the start of a wave 1. We have some kind of wave 2 up, and then we end up with a kind of, finishing a 5th wave, a 3rd and 5th wave, right? So what I mean by this is I think it would look something like this by the end, right? We have this pullback here as wave 1, some kind of move up into wave 2, some kind of really big drop into wave 3, some kind of relief bounce for wave 4, and then a finishing move down into the final 5th wave. And even I've drawn that a little bit too shallow. It should be potentially very, very significant, taking us down into this drop. Okay, following what Bitcoin is doing, Bitcoin would follow a very similar path. And what we're doing at the moment is tracking this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. And then inside this drop over here, we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not drawing these to scale, but you get the idea. And then eventually 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so that's kind of the pattern that I'm looking for here on the way down. And obviously we're just starting the journey, right? So there's a relief bounce that will come, then there's going to be a big drop. Inside that big drop there will be 2 relief bounces as we pull back down. Then there's going to be a bigger relief bounce once we hit that low, and then there's additional 2 bounces before we reach the actual bottom, where I would then look to see the opposite of this structure but going up. Okay, so we have this entire impulsive structure coming down. I would look for that entire impulsive structure going back up again. Okay, once we've hit the lows. Now the lows I've got mapped out at 1.7 to about 1.8, but again, that's on the macro. The main thing here to really watch out for is how these waves form and where they all land. The expectation is there, so we just now have to track these, see how they form, because there should be 5 waves here, there'll be 5 waves here, there'll be 5 waves here, there'll be 5, 5, 5, for example, right? So there's a lot to go through. It isn't going to be quick necessarily. It probably is going to take a few weeks. So this actually puts us to the latter end of June into July. Which might work really well for many people, but yeah, it's going to be hard, but I think the rewards at the end will be very, very much worth it, in my opinion. But I'm going to leave the video there, guys. If you found this useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With all that said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.